Hello and welcome to another cheese tutorial. This one is going to be about the laser comm drop. But before we talk about the laser comm drop, we're taking a look at the situation in the game, because context matters a lot when you try to do cheese. And right now you can see how yellow has a huge portion of his production on top of this plateau, and gray has a portion of his production around or on top of the plateau, and green also has factories nearby. So the entire enemy team is in a good position to get lots of units on top of this plateau with short supply routes. Plus there's one ACU for the enemy team. There's also one ACU for our team, but the ACU positioning is actually important, because take a look what is happening on the left side. You can see how green is in a position where he can easily walk on top of that plateau, so there's nothing blocking him. But brown has been fighting against green for a while, has then retreated, and basically now brown is in this situation where there is a cliff preventing him from going on top of this plateau without a transport. So he would have to walk this way around here, but instead chooses to go for an upgrade. So it's going to take quite a while until brown arrives, if he's going to arrive at all. So basically everything about this game suggests that we are going to lose this plateau, but let's see what happens. So I'm being pushed back here by a swarm of T1 bombers and lots of Seraphim land units, and I'm trying to get some asylums in, sneaking around point defense, not getting into range of the enemy units, and trying to save my ACU here. Fortunately, blue's units arrive, and they're killing the rear of gray's units, and the PD is taking care of the rest. Asylum arriving just in time, and together with the fighters of both teammates, the bombers aren't the problem anymore. So right now the ACU HP suggests that I'm not going to be able to contest the opponent for the plateau anymore, but this is actually a bad call, because I can contest them if I get the shield upgrade. This is one of the reasons why you play Aeon. You can get this inexpensive shield upgrade super quickly, and losing a lot of ACU HP is not going to be such a liability. So I'm upgrading shield, and Mazernook, also known as Vismania, is realizing this, and he's on his RAS upgrade right now. So he's on a 3 power generator setup and going for RAS. And he's not going for T3 air, as you would possibly expect from somebody who goes RAS. Instead, he's going to stay here and get the laser upgrade, right? My shield upgrade is finishing meanwhile, around 60% now. And soon I can contest the opponent for the firebase they're trying to build up here. So you can see now both enemy ACs are on this plateau, and they're building those point defenses. So if nothing happens, I can stall them for a bit, but in the end I'll have to retreat. So losing this plateau on this map hurts a lot, of course, because MML can shoot down from here and kill 2 bases, and T3RT can kill the other base. So you don't want to lose this plateau early on. My shield upgrade is done. I got 2 asylums with my ACU, and now I'm hitting this group of units and the PDs, just trying to stall them for a bit. And meanwhile, Mazernook is still sitting on this laser upgrade. You can see with 3 T2 power generators and RAS, it's super easy to get laser. I'd say in most games you don't even need the RAS. You can just build it on a couple of T2 power generators. Maybe 3, maybe rather 4 or 5. But if you have some power overflow from your teammates, then this is going to be enough as well. So especially when you have a map with a dedicated air player who's going for T3 air, there's going to be some overflow which you can use to get your laser. And right now the timing is around minute 13, 14. So yeah, 13 would be a bit optimistic, but I guess you can get laser by minute 14 and use it in the drop. So most people probably think that laser is something you get in the very, very late game, but that's not true. So laser can of course work with teleport and cloak, but you don't necessarily need teleport or cloak. You can just get it in the mid game and use the power of the laser itself. And another learning would be the gun upgrade. So I've said this on multiple occasions, but there are still people who don't know. And most people go for laser and tech, because the tech upgrade is going to provide some extra HP, and they just think that this is going to be the best thing they can do. But that's not true. Gun upgrade is usually better with laser, because it extends the gun range like as well as the laser range, right? So the laser range of your ACU is going to depend on the gun range, and if you get gun upgrade, your gun range gets higher, and that's why the laser also gets higher range, right? So let's slow this down a little bit as the drop is happening now. You can see this default T2 transport and a deceiver in it. The deceiver is stealthing the transport and the ACU in there. So for the opponent, it looks like there's nothing, right? So I'm not sure if this ping was actually on the ACU or just random. Maybe they scouted it. Of course, when you do laser drop, you want to avoid being scouted. And if there are interceptors nearby, you want to land, of course. But this is now the crucial moment, right? So Smania is dropping his ACU right next to these two ACUs. And it's going to be suicidal because of all the T2 PDs. But maybe he could trade 1 for 2, right? And that's the entire intention of this drop. What should the opponent team be doing in this situation? Well, they should self-destruct before the transport lands, because if somebody with a laser drops next to 2 ACUs, it's quite likely that both ACUs are going to die. And if you self-destruct one ACU and kill the transport with that, at least the other player can survive. So for the defending team, the best outcome would be to like sacrifice one ACU to like kill one ACU and keep the other. But they haven't realized that the laser drop is ongoing in time, so nobody is like self-destructing, and he managed to land. And you can see how it looks slow, but it's actually super fast. So this is 4000 DPS, and both ACUs die in no time. So this Mania traded 1 for 2 in this situation, and in many cases you're going to die if you do laser drop. So there are some maps where this ACU action is not happening in the center, then you would drop directly into the opponent's base, and you require a lot of air units to make it out alive. And of course, if there are tons of land units or PDs, you're going to die. So you have to be careful, and you have to know what you're doing. So trading like pretty much 0 for 1 is a good choice, and trading 1 for 2 is a good choice. And in some situations, trading 1 for 1 is okay, but you need to know your options, right? And you need to be okay with trading 1 for 1. So you need to be okay with dying and like killing your opponent in the worst case. And if that's no option, you should probably not try it. But laser comm drops are pretty fun. It's probably the best source of adrenaline in this game. So you should experiment with this a little bit. And for the rest of this game, well, not much is going on. You can see how Nudax is pressuring Chosen on air, and I'm pressuring him on the land fight. And I'm just massing T3 arty on this map. Indirect fire weapons are going to kill everything that is below the plateau. So Chosen pretty much has no way to recover. Also after losing all of the power and being stuck with a land setup, unable to switch into like high-tech air pretty much. So this is how the game is going to end. And this game was actually won by the laser comm drop by Wismania. So very well played by Wismania. And I guess I summarized the key learnings again. So key learning number 1 is, if Wismania plays against you, scout against him so you don't die against like laser comm drop. Key learning number 2 is if you want to use laser comm drop, be quick about it. Use the overflow of your air player, time it correctly, and don't be so late that T3 air and possibly even Omni is already online for the opponent. And yeah, keep in mind that any Cyber player can get this against you, and it happens quicker than you think. So this is not a minute 25 thing, this is a minute 13, 14 thing. So cheese is called cheese because it's a risky all-in strategy, and it wouldn't be all-in if it wouldn't happen early and surprisingly, right? So I hope people enjoyed this, and see you in the next video.